Today's adventure brings us to Alliceville, Alabama, where there's a famous dump that's supposedly just soda bottles. I gotta get my share of them, so let's see what I can find today. Yep, looks like there must have been something going on here about 75 years ago, but it's pretty dead right now. Here I am at the dump. Got a couple people here already. All the Alabama diggers are here today.
What you got? A big tall one? That bottle right there wasn't known before in here. It's a tall quality beverage. There's Alliceville Buffalo Rocks that weren't known before we got in here. There's a ton of good shit, dude.
Okay, show me this great bottle that used to be, what were these, like $1,500 5 years ago?
Yeah, and then that one's a newer one.
Oh, I couldn't see it good because there's the shade line was covering this one.
Oh, that? Well, there you go. Try that. Is that better?
Yeah, that's one of the bottles I've been trying to get for many years.
Me out in October, and like I said, told me not to, or whatever it was, October, told me not to go back. So I waited. And I dug over there.
And
I mean, I can show you where the stuff is in here, where older stuff came from, but...
And you just randomly pick a spot?
Yes, literally. Because all this stuff up here up top, all those piles that are closest to us are 40 stuff. On the far side, there's newer 20s. Down this hill is where the teens and 20 stuff came from.
Well, 15 minutes in, I found my first broken one of these. Now I just gotta stay till I find a whole one. Okay, we're here for Mudfest Part 2. Different town, not Selma anymore. Okay, not much action today, but I think I got a whole bottle here. Okay, it's cracked as you would expect, but what does it say on the bottom? Is it a reform one? No, it's just a super common meridian. Oh, show me what you just found. Okay. Oh, you found another one of my dream bottles.
Oh, here you go. Here's a real tough one. You can't see it for the mud. That's a Demopolis soda water. Another bottle that was not known.
So, it appears that everybody's had their fill of this dump, and they all acknowledge it's 99.5% dug out. So, I think nobody's ever coming back here. So I'm just going to dig here for the next 4 hours or however long till it gets dark. The only spots that are producing are actually underwater. So that's not going to be very much fun. But I did go back and get my rubber boots on, so I'm ready to get started. Let's see what's down here. Yeah, it's another one of those Coke bottle dumps where they dumped approximately 1 million Coke bottles. But, of course, 99% of them are broken. That's always the case. I don't know why they can't just donate them or sell them to another Coke plant, though. What difference does it make what city's on the bottom of them? I can understand with straight-sided Cokes that have the city name on the front that they wouldn't want to use them in another city. But the 1930s and 40s Cokes, why does that make a difference? They all get mixed up anyway. Why destroy all these? It's almost over for this dump. Soon it'll just be about coming here and looking for bottles with minor damage, because the digging is coming to an end. I was hoping I found a straight-sided Coke, but no. But it is an Cola, and it is blown in a mold, which is the first blown in a mold bottle I have seen in here. And since I don't have one of these, I think I'll bring that one home with me. Well, that's it for me anyway. I got here too late and I live so far away from here. By the time I get back here next season, it'll be completely wiped out. But maybe when I get home I'll show you all the bottles I found. Here's some of them. Okay, here's some of the bottles I dug up. This is one of my favorite Big Chief styles. A number of cities use this one, but I just like the shape of it. It's from Alliceville, of course, but the top's broken off. I thought I might someday saw it off above that ring and put another neck on it. And here's an Alliceville 1915. Nice clean one. Just has a lip chip on it. Well, it does have that one bruise, or fisheye as some people would call it. I think that happened because I wasn't trying to preserve them properly by putting them in water like I usually do. And I was a little surprised to see a New Orleans. It's almost clear. And it is not a 1915 either. It's got a lot of case wear too. But it's actually a Christmas Coke. So that's kind of unusual. Probably wasn't thrown away until about 1939. And no, it isn't a mint one. It has that lip chip on it. Otherwise, it displays nicely. And here's another Alliceville. Sparkling clean. It's the 1915. And of course, it has a lip chip on it as well. And it has a couple of these fish eyes, which I think showed up later on. All these bruises would not be there if I soaked it in water. If I had a bucket of water and I just stuck them in there and filled them full. Or at the very least, if I took some newspapers, rolled them up, and sprayed them with a bottle of water, I think it would prevent most of those. And we have a Meridian, Mississippi, 1915. There was a lot of those in there, actually. They're pretty common in comparison to the Alliceville. But, of course, most of those are also chipped up. And then I got the Meridian soda water with the stars on the neck, squared center. Of course, it's got a big lip chip as well. But I figured somebody would probably give me $3 or $4 for it eventually. And here's an Alliceville of a different year. You can see the glass is different on this one. It's amazing how many batches of 1915s can be made with different embossing on the bottom every time. They always have a different layout design for the bottom. So that's a 15er as well. These are listed as rare, or maybe rare plus. But of course it's chipped up pretty bad. And another Alliceville. This is actually a D-patented. There was actually some stuff in there that was that modern. Had straight sideds all the way through D patents, all from Alliceville. And there was a lot of these quality beverages. I've never seen these before. Of course, quality beverages is a very common name, but these ones actually say Alliceville on the shoulder. It's kind of unusual. And there was a number of these generic ones. They are just so strange because they have a slug plate. It's very faint though. They're all very hard to notice that they're even slug plated. But why would they order slug plated bottles with nothing embossed in them? And there's a number of these 1915s that just don't say anything on the bottom. There was a very few of these Chiro Colas. I think that's the only one I found that was intact. It's just the generic Columbus, Georgia variety though. And the only Alicola that I saw there in any kind of condition. It's also the only blown in a mold bottle that I saw. Super obvious copycat of a Coca Cola bottle. So obviously they destroyed these after a few months. Maybe a year at the most. So these should be rare. But they're not really that rare. But I definitely wanted to have one of these because I love straight-sided Cokes, and this is such an interesting copycat. Of course, the top sheared off. Okay, let's continue to look at these. I have this really rare one from Utah, Alabama. It's got a big crack in it though. A few of these turned up in the dump. And here's yet another 1915 hobble skirt. It's got a lip chip and some cracks in the base. But it's a very unusual one. It just says Min on the bottom. I looked it up. It's from Minnesota, obviously. It is a very scarce bottle, though. So it still might be worth $7 to $10. And here is another Big Chief from Alliceville of a different variety. This was unknown to exist until recently. This one's broken off, but I thought I might saw it off right about here and make a glass out of it. Yes, it is from Alliceville. And here's yet another of the more common variety. It's got the top sheared off, but I figured somebody might still want it. And here's a severely damaged, broken off neck, new grape. But it is from a very rare town. It's from Reform, Alabama. This was unknown to exist until several months ago also. So even in that terrible condition, it's worth bringing back because I think there's only 3 or 4 of these have ever been found. And here's one I've never seen before. Another guy was digging over there and he found this one. And I said, wow, that's interesting. I don't remember ever seeing a Chiro Cola like that. And I said, I might like to buy that from you. Then he says, well, if you collect Chiro Colas, just go ahead and take it. It does have a lip chip and several bruises in it. But I like to collect the Chiro Colas just by the unique different styles. I have about 14 different kinds now. And here's another 1915. And it's from Alliceville. But it's actually in mint condition. One of the very few bottles I got that's got nothing wrong with it. And here's a D-Boss Dr. Pepper. One of the newest bottles that came out of there. It's probably from the late 40s. It doesn't even have a town name on the bottom. But at least it's not chipped or cracked. Another 1915. Nice clean example. Almost clear in color. And it's from Mobile, Alabama. And we have a Christmas Coke here. And it's from Alliceville. And then another 1915. This one still has the cap on it. Doesn't really have any problems with it. It's one of the few undamaged bottles, but it has no city listed on the bottom. And another 1915 with the odd, almost clear color. Top's broken off. But I kept it anyway because it's from Macon, Mississippi. It's a very scarce one. So even with the top broken off, somebody might need this one. And another Meridian, Mississippi bottle. And it actually is in mint condition. No chips or cracks in this one. And another variation to the quality beverages. This one actually says pure sugar. And it says big bottle on the neck. On the shoulder, actually. It's the only one I found like it. Holds 9 ounces. And of course it says Alliceville on the bottom. And another Big Chief of the rare variety. It's got a bunch of damage to it, but I figured I might get a few dollars for it. And another Big Chief. This one's got a lot of cracks in it. Definitely only worth bringing home so that I can spray paint it. There was a few of these embossed Dr. Peppers and a few debossed ones from various cities. This one, of course, is from Mississippi. It's got the neck broken off, but I figured these are nice bottles and I could probably repair it one day. And another 1915 Hobble Skirt Coke. It's a rare one. It's from Gordo, Alabama. It's in pretty good shape, but it does have a lip chip, but that's about the only problem it has. So that makes that one of the best bottles I found. And here's the last one. That's the only example of the star embossed straight side of Coke I could find. Was very disappointed that Clayton found 2 of them that were intact right beside me. This is a key piece to any straight-sided Coke collection because it's so unique. So I'm just going to have to go back to that town and dig it some more, hoping to find a perfect one of these.